Hello everyone, in this video we'll see how to work with radio buttons in Android and we'll be demonstrating this example. So we'll create a new project by clicking start a new Android Studio project. We'll give the application name as radio button example. Next, API 15 is okay. Next, I'll choose empty activity and then we'll click finish option. So we are done with building the project. So I'll change the layout to relative layout. For that I'll remove the constraint layout part and I'll make it as relative layout. I'll move back to the design part. I do not require this hello world, so I'll delete it. Next I'll search for a radio group. Okay, so I'll drag and drop a radio group over here and I'll give the width as a match parent. The layout height I'll make it as a 400 dp. Okay, so why do we require this particular radio group? So this radio group will contain radio buttons and it makes sure that at a time only one radio button is selected. If we are not using a radio button, then we can select more than one radio buttons at a time, which we do not require. So inside the radio group we'll be placing the radio buttons. So I'll place few radio buttons over here. I'll drag first radio button, then second, similarly a third and fourth. Okay. So I'll change the text of the first radio button. So I'll select it and text I'll make it as view. So we're done with renaming the radio buttons. So I'll select all the radio buttons and I'll make their width as match parent and I'll increase the text size to 20 sp. I'll make them bold. Okay, and we'll give a ID to a radio button. Okay, and I'll name it as color RG. So now we'll move to main activity.java and here we'll write the codes. So first I'll come to my class main activity and I'll declare few variables. First is radio group and another is for radio button. Inside onCreate function I'll get the reference of a radio group So now we have got the reference of radio group. Next we'll create a function which displays the message regarding the selection of radio buttons. So we'll remove this error by pressing Alt plus Enter, and we'll import this class rg.get checked radio button ID. So this is a function which will help us to get the selected radio button from the radio group. And if we see to it, this function returns an integer value. It means it returns the ID of the selected radio buttons in the form of integer. So to hold the ID of the radio button, I will declare a variable int RID. Now we'll get the reference of the selected radio buttons. So I'll be using the object of radio button. So RB is equals to radio button, and I'll get it reference. For getting the reference, I'll be using find view by ID, and over here if you see to it, it takes the ID of the button. So my ID is stored in RID, so I'll pass it over here, RID. Now we'll make a toast. So for that toast, we'll choose the second option which says toast, create a new toast. So first parameter is the context where it will be created, the text which needs to be displayed in the toast. So I'll give as rb dot get text, which will get the text of the selected radio button, and I'll make it as length long. So toast dot length long. So now we are done with creating a function which gets the selected radio buttons and displays a message. Now we require to map this function to the radio buttons. So I'll go to design part. So for mapping the function to the radio buttons, I'll choose all the radio buttons by pressing control button, and I'll get all the properties by clicking this arrow, and I'll search for on click function, and I'll select the source selection function which we have created. So now we'll check individually. So on click source selection, on click source selection, on click source selection, and on click source selection. So finally we are done with it, and we'll run our project. So now we are done with running the project. I'll open my emulator. So we have radio buttons over here. So if I'm selecting blue, it's displaying blue. I'm selecting red, it's displaying red. I'm selecting pink, it's displaying pink. So thank you for watching the video.